to another video here on the From the Farmyard podcast. Over the past few months, we have been working on a series that we have titled our Farmyard Friends. And today, this is the season finale. I'm going to call it the season finale of that whole series. And we're just going to talk a bit about what our thoughts are on it, if we're going to bring it back, how it went, all those things. And then at the end of the video, we're going to do a bit of a compilation of a few different videos and clips from people, all the people that we interviewed. So we hope you stick to the end to watch that. It'll be worth it. But let's get into this episode and talk about, first of all, how it went. What was like for you, what was like the best part of like having to do this whole series?
I think my favorite part was just listening to so many different stories. Like so many people who did so many different things. It wasn't just people like us who were just doing chickens and gardening or ducks or whatever. It was everything. I mean, not everything, but like a majority of things we covered in this series. And that was really nice to be able to do. Listening to people's stories on how things played out with just everything. Like one notable thing is Michaela from her interview was in North Carolina, then went back up to Michigan, then back down to North Carolina. And it was like you had to have faith in that moment that everything was going to work out how it was supposed to work out. And I think that's what's nice listening to other people is because you're able to gather that knowledge and the
Right.
appreciation for different things. What was your favorite part of the
I would have to agree with
everything?
you. Listening to people's stories and their perspectives, that was great. But I mean, my favorite part was probably the community that we built. We
Yeah,
were able to, just by listening to people's stories and then feeling like their ability to come on and tell their stories, being vulnerable like that and actually sharing their stories, that was great. And letting our viewers see that side of them, that perspective. A few of those videos could have resonated with some of our viewers, and then they can go and talk to those people and say, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? It's building community. And even with us, I mean, the people that we talked to, we were able to make some friends. And again, building that community was very it's a beautiful thing because agriculture in itself, it's farming. Farming community needs to be there for everybody. We need to be there for the rest of the community. It's all about community. Because like if you're a new gardener and you're joining this world and you don't know what you're doing, this is where as a community, we need to be available to have these conversations with you and be able to share knowledge and help educate you. And that's another form of building community. So I think that in itself was a beautiful thing and one of my favorite things about it, just because we were able to make friends, and I hope that our viewers were also able to learn a lot of new things that we couldn't provide, that we couldn't bring to the
right,
channel. Because um if you've been here for a while, you know that we like to speak from experiences or on topics that we are knowledgeable in, that we can say, okay, we're pretty firm in this knowledge and we would like to share this with the public. That ability is limited for us because we don't know everything.
mhm,
We can only go so far with gardening because we haven't learned certain things. And we can't talk about raising bees or sheep or cattle because we've never
right,
done those things. But through the podcast and through the series, we were able to bring on people who did raise pigs, and people who gardened in different zones, places that we can't say that we know the zone and how you grow in that atmosphere and stuff like that. That that also was a great thing, just to be able to provide that new information to our viewers. It makes me feel, as a host and as somebody who's created this channel, it makes me feel good because I like bringing knowledge to you guys and I like educating you. And whenever I'm limited like that because I only know so much, it feels like just like a block. I can't go past this point because I haven't learned that much knowledge. But being able to bring on other people and share more with you guys, I don't know. It just makes me feel good because I'm still able to provide you guys with an amount of knowledge that, I mean, I can't say I have experience in it, but this person does. I have to say that was one of my favorite things too.
The community was really good, and I think most of the people we've talked to outside of this, I mean, we had Molly returning back from before, but you had talked to her before.
Hmm.
Um, Kelsey from um, the duck interview that we did, I'd reached out to her a year prior to this because I was having problems with one of my ducks. And she was just one of the people who I was like, okay, you seem pretty knowledgeable in this. I'll ask. And it was good to just see that. I mean, farming is about community. It's about sharing the knowledge with people, not holding things back for, I'm not going to, selfish is the word that comes to my head, but it's not that. It's just sharing what you have, whether it be knowledge or your experiences, your seeds, or helping someone else do this, but they know how to do this. It's like trading or something like that. So you're trading different things, and that really is kind of how it is in a way.
So how did the series go? Um, Analytic wise, I mean, this was our first time doing this. So, I mean, I'm not saying that we got a ton of views from it. But being able to invite other people on and getting it shared to their people, and we gained a few subscribers, we gained a few and I say these numbers because for future reference me, I would like to hear how the
Yeah,
numbers are going. It's like the New Year's recap. I like to see where we've come and what we've been through to get to this point. So I say these numbers for this purpose. It's not like we gained a lot. That wasn't our intention, was to gain a ton of subscribers and views. It was a way of building community and again bringing different experiences to the channel to educate you guys further than our knowledge could. Um, and I think we achieved that. I think we
we
did.
did.
That's if people watch the videos. But those videos are up there forever now, and
Right.
so anybody can go back and watch those videos. We have a whole playlist, an interview playlist that you guys can check out, and it has all the videos linked under it. So if you guys haven't watched the series, I highly recommend it. It was a lot of fun and a lot of good information and stories were shared during that. But the question is did it do good enough that we would say to do it again? Um, I will say yes because winter content for us is very, very slim. Because
Mhm.
throughout the whole year, we're able to talk about gardening and we're able to do vlogs for you guys. We love filming vlogs. Video content is like one of our favorite things. While we love the podcast and talking to you guys on and on and on, sometimes the vlog content is just easier and it's a better way for us to give you a more hands-on tutorial, a hands-on learning experience. And that's why we really enjoy doing vlogs and stuff. But we want to bring it back again next year because the whole reason we started it was during a time of off season. This is a time when we can actually interview farmers and gardeners because they're not doing
Right.
anything as well. Throughout the whole year, the summer, the spring, the fall, when we did try to do interviews and invite people on, they were like, well, can we catch you after a harvest? Well, I have to do this and that. Well, my garden's in
Mhm.
full production right now. I can't really sit down and do this. So scheduling in itself was difficult. Whereas in winter, we were able to do that a lot better. And
Yeah.
so that in itself is definitely a plus. And keeping up with winter content is difficult when you're doing every Saturday uploads. Like every week, you got to have something new coming out to the public. So during winter, there's not a lot to film because the chickens are shut in, the garden's not doing anything. And what we're all about here on the podcast is, again, teaching you guys from our experiences. And
Yeah.
that's what we do. We do chickens, we do ducks, we do gardening. That's what we do. So, not having that, it's literally a time of overwintering for us. And that's what the podcast interviews were for. And I think we achieved everything that we wanted to achieve. Next year, we hope to get you guys a strong lineup of interview guests, more gardeners, because this year we did a lot more of like animal keepers,
Livestock.
livestock, yeah. Um, but next year we hope to bring some more gardeners and even further the livestock journey, maybe get a beekeeper or a cattle farmer, just because we didn't
Right.
touch on that as much. So, what can we learn from what would you say you've learned from doing the series, like the most that you've learned?
That there's no set right way to go about things. I guess because everybody
Very
was talking
true.
about
Very
like
true.
everybody was so many different things. Like
How many people did we interview? Like eight different people? And
I think it was more than
everybody,
that.
it was eight. It was only eight.
Was it eight?
Yeah.
Might have been.
Eight different
I can't keep
people.
track of
Eight
things.
different people giving eight different perspectives
Perspective.
of this lifestyle, eight different stories of how they got started, eight different areas in which they lived. It all was just a beautiful thing because, again, talking about community, there are so many people across the board, okay, that just do this lifestyle, but everyone does it differently. And when you say that,
Yeah.
it's very true because there is no right way to do this lifestyle. It's what works best for you. The things
Yeah.
I heard would not work in my area, but it works for them. And it's so neat to see all the different perspectives. And I think that was a huge
Mhm.
thing that I learned too.
Yeah. And it definitely strengthens because I mean we've talked about this with gardening content and everything else. There's no set right way to garden. I garden in a lot of ways because that's how I started and it just makes sense for different things. But you use what you have and you acquire those skills to be able to do things. And you just don't try to limit yourself. Like, I think the good thing is people get into the mindset, well, not a good thing, but a lot of people I think fall into the mindset of like me, it would have been easy for me to say, oh, I live in a neighborhood. I can't raise this, I can't raise this, I can't grow this, I can't do this or that or whatever. But I'm not. I think it really is empowering for people to be able to see like an urban gardener like myself or someone like you who lives out in the country doing different things, but it's still it's the same thing, but it's different at the same time. And
Hmm.
it's so good to be able to see that from different people. Some people can barely garden anyway. One of the interviews that stands out in my mind, um, the first interview with Sunshine Acres, she has had a marshy area and she was doing berries and stuff on that. That was good information that me and you, we didn't know that type of stuff, but somebody else who's living in an area where it gets super wet could be able to utilize an area of their property that they never thought they could utilize before. Where I live on the top of a hill, we're not going to get a lot of water where it's like
Hmm.
pulling up and staying different places. So it really
Right.
is looking at different perspectives, using what you have, and even if it's in a negative light, like flooding, don't you don't use it as a negative. You can take that negative and turn it really into a positive because there's forms of terracing, there's forms of everything slowing that water runoff or catching it even. And there's just so many different ways to go about things.
Right. And I think that leads to the last into the confirmation, the video confirmation that I'm gonna have for you guys next year. At the end of every video that we did, we asked the same reoccurring question. And we asked the same reoccurring questions throughout the whole thing, but we made sure specifically to ask this one, and it was, what is your favorite thing about this lifestyle? And so, um, we hope you enjoy this video, uh, a bunch of clips, just of everybody's perspective on it, because I think actually, I know because they edited it. Every single one of the interviews that we filmed were all different reasons on why they liked the perspective. Yet it all intertwined so well together because it's still all based on the same trade. It's still based off of agriculture, and there's so many different reasons why people like it, and there's so many different perspectives on why people do it, how they do it. And this video it just kind of shows all the different perspectives all together all at once, and it's a good season finale. So sit back and enjoy this end of the video. What is your favorite thing about this lifestyle?
I think it's that you're able to grow your own food and not have to go to the store and buy things. You have like you don't have to get in the car, drive. You can just go in the garden, pick it out, or in the freezer if you already have it.
My favorite thing is the protection that it can someday give my children and their children. It is my belief that this is my gift to my children, and I'm not nailing it 100% of the time. And in the sense that, I'm not succeeding 100% of the time. But I'm doing the best I can.
So I don't like being stagnant. I like when things are constantly changing and I don't get bored. In this lifestyle, I'm never going to be bored. I always,
Yep.
I love to learn things. I love to be busy. And I always have a project to work on now. I always have something new to learn. And I don't think even 50 years from now, if I'm gardening, I'm going to know everything. So, like, I'm
Right.
always going to be learning. And I think, like, the changing of the seasons and, like, there's always something new to look forward to. And not even look forward to for the first time or the second time. It's it's going to come back around, but you get a break from it. And I think that's my favorite thing.
Really, it's just being able to, I love being able to provide food for my family and knowing where it came from, knowing that they were healthy and happy. And honestly, I just love raising the birds and watching them. It's like therapy for me. It's the best. It's mental health. It's everything, it's so important to me to have happy, healthy birds. And it's honestly, it doesn't feel like work to go out and take care of them and
Yeah.
make sure that they have fresh bedding and nice and fresh water and whatnot. And like I would literally just do anything for my birds, like and that's where, I'm like, I know they have a good, happy, healthy life. And
What would you say is your favorite thing about this lifestyle?
I love that you're always learning. Your garden is different from year to year. It's the weather, it's different animals that I can teach my kids. That there's always something new to learn and there's always something new to do. And there's always people that you can meet and introduce different things to or learn something from somebody that you meet.
The food security. It really like gives me a lot of comfort. It might be a lot of work at first, but just like kind of you said, Reagan, like being able to go into your pantry and like pick something up that you grew, you can cook for your family. Like I said, it's a sense of wealth for me. It's a sense of comfort that, that my kids are being nourished by food that we know where it came from and that we know that it still has nutritional value.
Exactly.
I think that's really, kind of my thing, my jam.
The thing that really just, when you asked me that question, the first thing that popped into my head is the freedom that comes with it. I am blessed that I don't necessarily have to have a job, that I get to be, stay at home. But I work at a greenhouse in the spring. So there is that, but I like that, I'm not tied down to any specific thing. There is a lot of work that comes into being a farmer, to having a garden, to different stuff like that, to having livestock. You can't just up and leave for a week. Things won't survive for a week unless you have, automatic waters and all different stuff like that. But there is such a freedom in that, I don't have to be here at that specific time from 9 to 5, and stuff like that. There's just so much freedom, and there's so much great rewards. I think is a big thing, from your work. It's a lot of hard work, but the rewards are just it's
They're
abundant.
exponential. They
Yeah.
just outweigh everything you have to put in. And a lot of things, once you get going, they are not minimal effort, but not a lot of effort, but you still get a great reward from things. It's just that initial setup of everything and learning. But then once that, it's really quite simple.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not always going to be perfect. and not going to be how you planned. But as long as you're willing to evolve with your process and allow, things to just kind of take its course, that's all right. You can't really stress about it. You can't control the weather. You can't control what's happening around you with other people and different stuff like that, but that's okay. You can control what's going on very minimally. But yeah, I think that's one of my favorite things, and I really love the animals of being, where I'm at. I love taking care of animals. Like, that's my jam. I love it. So
I think my favorite part about keeping chickens, gardening, homesteading, whatever you want to call it, is that when things work together, like we were just talking about, it's so rewarding to watch, and you feel good. And like, whether that's breathing in soil and you're getting those endorphins or whatever, and it makes you happy. You're out there working really hard, but you see the reward for it. You're out with chickens all day, and sure, they poop and they might smell and be a pain sometimes, but they also make you so happy. It's just like, it's a lot of work, but it's just so rewarding. And you feel good knowing that you're using everything that God's given you. You're using everything that you can. You don't have waste in space. You don't have waste products, and those are some really important values to me. And so I think that my favorite part about all of that is just how everything works together, and you just feel good from it.
So I hope you guys enjoyed that compilation that we put together for you. I really like the fact that you're able to see everybody's different perspectives, but I don't think we've quite mentioned our own. In the next couple minutes, we're just gonna share our favorite things about this lifestyle. A little differently this time. You're used to back and forth of screens, but today I'm joined by someone special.
The gunshots that you're joined by.
Oh! Look who it is! Hi.
Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome.
So, for the next few minutes of this podcast, we're just gonna interview each other and basically say what our favorite things are about this lifestyle. But, Zachary, what are your favorite things? What is your favorite thing about this lifestyle?
The community that we form and the knowledge that we're able to share, which it goes with community. You're able to share knowledge, resources, and everything else, whether through trade, bartering, selling, whatever it is. There's just so much community that goes into it, and that's very special to have, and it's very needed in the time that we live in my opinion.
Very true. Good. My
turn. What is your favorite thing about this lifestyle?
Probably the fact that you're able to be self-sufficient and you're able to know what you're putting into your food. A lot of times, and we talked about this in a past episode just with the GMO seeds and stuff, basically a lot of times we don't know what's going into our food, and people just willingly buy that. And I mean, for me personally, I like to know what my chickens are eating and what's in their food and what's going into their bodies, because it is so important, because whatever in their food and whatever they're eating, and then you eat it, it goes into you. So the ability to know what you're eating, to know where it came from, is probably one of my favorite things, but also the self-sufficiency, that you're able to not depend on something else. You're able to just go into your backyard and take care of everything that you're going to put in your body. It's all yours, and I think that's probably my favorite part. And those gunshots, man. Like,
you're more connected to your food, ultimately. I mean, you're not disconnected, and I think that's where a lot of things are. Actually, I don't think. I know that's where a lot of things are. A lot of people are in that disconnect of, oh, I can go to the store and I can get this, or I can get this or that, or whatever it is. They don't have things. And yeah, sometimes it's...
Just ignore them.
Sometimes it's convenient.
Just ignore them.
Sometimes it is convenient, I will tell you that.
Keep going.
It is convenient sometimes, like sometimes if you're having salads or for Christmas time or whatever. That is convenient.
Who is that?
You know I'm talking. But it is very convenient, and that's... I mean, sometimes I'm not saying like cut out going to the store entirely, but if you can grow a majority of your food and find,
they got me.
and find that connect.
Oh, Sec, make it stop. No, not me, the gun. This is all going in.
No, but if you're able to find that if you're able to find that connect, whether just storing some of your food, all of your food, or whatever. I'm not saying that you have to grow everything that you eat, but if you're able to at least produce eggs in a garden and know where things come from, then I think you're going to be a little bit more mindful when you're making certain choices during that season when you don't have anything. But also preserving is a big thing.
So thank you to everyone that came on the interview series. We really appreciate all of that time that you gave and put into our podcast. We're very grateful, and we hope to have more people on next year. So stay tuned for that. More videos coming throughout this year. Obviously, we're not stopping the podcast anytime soon.
You'll be seeing the space that we're sitting in right now, actually, a lot.
Exactly. So lots of summer content, lots of spring content, fall content, you know, the whole year. We got a lineup.
It's right around the corner.
We have a lineup. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you guys in the next one, right?
Yes.
Bye guys.
Bye y'all.
Oh, that's so good.